Hello, this is a brief video that is going to give you some pointers about creating a literature review. One thing you need to understand before you set about writing a literature review is that a literature review is a general way for you to place your own original research within a certain context of existing research. The size of a literature review and the depth of a literature review vary based on the size of the research that you are doing. If you are writing a book, let's say, then the part dedicated to literature review is going to be broader and it's going to try to be exhaustive about the topic because a lot of research goes into writing a book. If you're writing an article that is based on original experimental research, then you need to give the reader a context about where you're placing your own research. So you need to provide this framework by means of a literature review. The literature review in an article, due to the limiting factors such as the number of pages in an article, usually 10 to 15 that most journals publish, allow you to make your literature review usually half a page to a page long. I am going to demonstrate that first by means of this article, in vitro trypsin inhibitory activities of some plant and fruit extracts and chemical compounds. Excuse my pronunciation if I didn't pronounce correctly. I'm not a chemist. And secondly, I will mention another resource for you that I will make available for you to visualize. So if you look at this article, the article starts the literature review right at the very beginning in the introduction. Sometimes some authors have a separate section in their articles that is called just that, literature review. But more often than not, from what I've noticed in chemistry journals, a lot of the literature review part goes in the introduction. So as you can see here, the authors give the context of their research by explaining the particularities of the enzymes that they're looking at. And you can see here all the literature that they cite. You can see all the sources that are then found at the end in the list of works cited in the references. However, the role of the citations in the introduction is more general, to paint a general background picture of the people who have done research exactly in this area before. Because what always is important is to show the way in which you are different and similar to some of these researchers. So this is the purpose of a literature review. You see, all the literature review has these two elements. One is the in-text citation, which allows you to cite the source in the paragraph itself, and the other one is the bibliographic citation I've just shown you at the end of the paper, list of references. So be careful when you're writing your literature review to make sure that you have both the in-text and the list of references. In order to make sure that you're doing a correct in-text citation, please know your citation style and how to do it. The best way to go about doing that is to use a manual of style available in the library, or if you want to use Zotero, you can do that as well. Zotero is very versatile, can provide in-text citations and bibliographic references. So go to the LibGuide dedicated to Zotero to learn how to do that. Another important thing for you to know at this point is that you have to be selective about the literature that you include in your literature review. You might come across 30, 40 useful articles, and maybe you're even consulting those, but really you don't have enough space to give credit to everyone or to include everyone in your literature review, in which case you need to reduce your literature review to just the most important, the most representative authors for your bibliography. So far with the concrete example of the article, now I'm going to move on to further tips to literature review. This will be included in the LibGuide that I'm sharing with you. So you can see here tips on what is a literature review, what to think about when you're doing a literature review, how you can define the depth, how you can consider questions like, are you considering methodology? Are you dealing with quantitative questions? Are you doing more of a theoretical review of the research done in that field? So this concludes the part about literature review.